Hey, it's Gmoneymohawk, and Season 1 of Marvel Rivals is here. And along with that, we got 2 new characters, so let's look at them. Disclaimer, this is not a guide, but we do have a lot of numbers. Marvel Rivals has a lot of things that they do not tell you in-game, so you kind of have to go out of the way by going to the website or just testing out things by yourself. So we're going to be looking at that. First off, we got Mr. Fantastic himself, the stretchy man. Before anything, we need to talk about his passive. This little bar right here, that's elasticity, and it's the biggest part of his kit. Once you generate 100 elasticity, you go into an empowered state. In this empowered state called elastic strength, you gain a 20% movement speed, 450 bonus health, have a lesser range, but hit for 75 per attack. Keep in mind, you cannot use abilities in this mode, except for his ult, but you can cancel it early, and it lasts 6 seconds. Now that that's out of the way, let's go into his base form abilities. His primary fire is Stretch Punch. It does 60 damage, does not crit, but can be moved during the animation to hit multiple targets, and it pierces. This goes out 15 meters, and in his elastic strength, this goes 8 meters. Each punch generates 5 elasticity, no matter how many targets you hit. Doing research, Stretch Punch does not go through shields, but in elastic strength and being close to the target, it does. Only close to the target though. The distance differentiates if it's a melee or if it's a ranged attack. Next is Distended Grip. He latches onto a target generating 30 elasticity, and his next primary fire will slam that target into the original. This can be used on the same target and pull them towards you instead for more damage. If there's 2, it'll do 30 damage. If it's 1, it will do 50. This pull is not hard CC, so it will not interrupt abilities. Another thing is that if you have max elasticity, it will wait until you're done pulling before transforming, and you still get the elasticity if you whiff. Here's the button that everybody was worried about, is reflexive rubber. Mr. Fantastic stretches his body to absorb up to 300 damage and become completely CC immune. Afterwards, shooting the projectile. This absorption shield goes up to 300, but it can take a burst of damage as well, making him immune to one-shots. The reflected projectile doesn't do 1-to-1 damage. It does all the way up to 60% of 300, so 180 maximum damage. He's 35% slower, but again, he cannot be CC'd. Now we got flexible elongation. Mr. Fantastic can dash to an ally or an enemy. If it's an ally, both you and that ally generate 75 shield. If it's an enemy, you do 30 damage while it's still generating the shield. You have 2 charges. His team-up ability, Wedded Harmony, is with Invisible Woman. On activation, will give him bonus health while damaged. His ultimate is Brainiac Bounce. He becomes CC immune, jumps up into the air, and slams down, doing AoE damage. He bounces for a minimum of 3 times, but he can bounce up to 6 if he hits his targets. Like said before, this is the only ability that can be casted in his elastic strength. Every subsequent bounce that he hits stacks up more damage, going from 50 to 100. This is really good if he's in a very enclosed space as well, since his next leap starts at the apex of his jump. Now let's go into Invisible Woman. Her passive is invisibility. While she's out of combat for a little bit, she goes invisible. This is her self-heal. For when she's invisible, she starts regenerating her health 20 per second. She can manually go invisible by using her double jump. Her primary fire or projection is her main heal. It pierces and boomerangs back to Sue, hitting twice. It heals for 40 each, and it does 20 each on damage. And like Reed's punches, this cannot crit. Her ult fire is Guardian Shield. She places a shield in front of where the target ally is facing. This shield protects for 300 and heals any allies near it. It can also be replaced and put on other allies multiple times, resetting its position, and be retracted before breaking. This shield slows enemies. Her Psionic Vortex pulls in enemies towards the center, with an increasing slow the closer they get, while taking them for damage for 4 seconds. Her Force Physics is a push or a pull. This has an insane range of 30 meters. Sue, much like Moon Knight and Groot, has a 3-hit melee which knocks up. This can be weaved in between her primary attacks. And finally, her ultimate, Invisible Boundary. She places down a field that rapidly heals her teammates and slows enemies. This will turn her allies invisible as well, occasionally leaving after images behind. The heal is a whopping 165 per second, so it's very good for getting an advantage in a teamfight by securing an area. Overall, her kit has a lot of soft CC, which can be rather annoying to deal with. Both Reed and Sue are fantastic additions to Marvel Rivals. see what I did. Yeah, okay. They provide new and refreshing options to their roles, and I can't wait to play more of them and see what they can do. But for now, that's all we have. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. And please, have a good one.